Hi guys, and welcome to my Python tutorial of tab control login system. Right, I have some tabs in here. However, if you get the username and password wrong, you will not be able to get into those tabs. Look at that. Because your details are invalid. So let's try another login details and see. There we go, we have the same problem. Okay, this time around let's enter the correct login details. And now decision time. There, you see that? The login details is gone and we're left with payroll management system, inventory system, hotel management system. All of these three different systems, I already have them on YouTube, and I've included a link to all of this beautiful program on the description area of my previous tab control. Now, one other thing that you can do is you can always log off, or you can make use of this. You can enter details in there if you want. The choice is yours. Let's say there's nothing here. Just click on payment. There we go. Just to prove to you that it works. I'm going to exit. So the system asks you to confirm if you want to exit. If I say yes, you'll be logged off. If I say no, you're back into the system, but you still have to log in. So let's log in now. There. Click on that. And that's how the whole system works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you straight into a Python development environment, and we put one of these very beautiful and advanced tutorials together. So let's do that now, guys. Okay guys, let's start a new project. I'm going to start by importing Tkinter, and I will import it all at the start there. Then the other thing I intend to import will be the Tkinter message box there. And now let's import date. So I'm going to make that date on time. And so on. There. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create my class. I'll call that class tab_control. So that will be the name for this project really. So let me just call this tab1, because I intend to create another tab, and I will then define it as follows. Let's create the following method. So let's say initialize as follows. What that would be is going to be self comma root. There. I'm going to copy this and come right down here, just paste that in there and change it to self dot root. Let's get it indented, else there will be error. Now this self dot root, the name is going to be root. That's the name of our application. The next one is going to be the title. So let's come right down here, copy that, paste it right underneath here, and let's say self.title, and that will be, let me just call that tab control login system. There. Close that. And I'm now going to, let's give it the geometry, so that'll be the size, and I'm going to make that 1350 by, I'm going to go for 800 plus 0 and plus 0. So that means when it open up, it opens up right from here and cover the whole screen. Right, now the next thing I like to do now is maybe I should even specify my, let's say configure, that will be for the background, configure, and that will be background equals Gamesboro. That is the color of my background. There we go. Now I'm going to enter something here. I'll call it initialize. Self dot initialize, just say end, and that will be the tabs, enter parentheses. In this case, I'm now going to create, I will create a method for this. So let's come right down here. So, and that is it, this method. I'm going to use this method to, I'm going to use this method for my notebook. So let's say notebook equals ttk dot notebook. That's me now calling the widget that I will use to create my tab control, and that is going to be self dot root. There. Now the very first tab, I'm going to call that self dot tab. So let's say tab 0. I'm going to call that. Copy this, just paste that in there. Getting tired of typing. And the next one is this will be 0. And in the case of tab 0, I'm going to say ttk dot frame, and that will be notebook. There. So I'm just going to copy this because I'm going to need about 4. I intend to enter my payroll management system, hotel management system, and the inventory management system. So I'm going to do it like that. Now let's say notebook dot add, and that will be self dot tab control 0. That is the very first tab control. Copy that. I'm going to paste that in here, and let's enter a text to it. The text is going to be login system. This will be for my login system. Close that. That is that taken care of. So let's repeat the same thing for the other 3. Now just change that around. Yeah. So the other 3, this one I'll call this payroll. Payroll system, and followed by inventory. I will show you guys the link, or I will include the link of all of this program because I already have them on YouTube. I will include their link on the description area. So the next one is going to be hotel systems. Let's put systems here. Payroll systems. Okay. There. Before I continue, let me just save this. Let's save it as I'm just going to say tab control login system. Yeah, tab control login system. Yeah, that's the name. Save that. Right. Okay, before I run it, let me just correct some few errors here, minor errors here, I think. And here as well, I'm going to enter self in there because it's belong to the class anyway. So enter self there. And what else do I need to correct? I think that will be all. And let's enter the notebook. Let's say notebook.grade and I'm going to round it up so that we have a go at it there. So let's come in here, save and run, just to see how that looks like. There we go. I have my tab in there, but I just need to correct these ones, you see, because I copied it. So that will be 1, 2 and 3. So let's run it now one more time. There, now I have all my tabs in place. So what I'm going to do now is here I'm going to enter a login system here. I also have the login system on YouTube anyway, so I'm going to enter that in here. So let's come right underneath here and start to work with the login system. Okay, for the tab control, the first thing I'm going to do is to create a frame. So let's call that frame tab control login frame. There. And inside tab control login frame is going to be a frame widget, and right inside it, let's say self dot tab control. That would be for this very first one. We'll paste that in here, right? And I'm just gonna say comma relief, yeah, equals rigid. And this tab control, I'm going to get it packed. So let's copy all of this, come right down here, paste, dot pack. There we go. Okay, let me declare a variable here. That variable, I'll just call it self dot username, and I'm going to make that string. There we go. And the other variable, that's going to be for the password. Okay, another one, paste that in there, change that to password, and get it indented or de-indented. Now underneath here, let me just create something for the title. So I'm going to call that self dot lbl title equals label, and there. So that's my label there. Okay, as you can see, I've entered a tab here just to push it aside, and another tab here, and the carriage return there, or new line. Okay, so if I run it now, let's see how that's going to look like. There, that's how it's looking now. I have all my tabs in there. Okay, so let's come back in here now. Okay, let's create two more frames. There we go. And these two frames, they will house the username, password, and button. So I'm going to save it, and let's see how that looks. All right, let's come down here. Okay, I will now add the text widget, or the entry widget, and labels here. Okay, there they are, and let's run it and see how it looks like before I add the buttons. Come in here, let's run. There. So that's how the login system is looking right now. So I want to close that. Now the next thing I want to add will be the buttons. There we go, guys. I've added my buttons. I had to speed this up because of time. So if I run it now, this is what you guys will see there. However, none of these buttons do anything. Okay, so let's exit out. Then the next thing I'd like to do now is I'm going to create some functions to get this button doing something for me. Okay, right underneath the definition, or where I initialize the notebook, I've actually entered the following function. This is just to clear the text box or the entering widget, and this, so that's just to focus the mouse inside the username. Why this one is just to exit. Okay, I will now call both method inside this button. So let's come right down here. Where's my button? I have here reset. So I'm going to say comma command equals reset, and the other one is command equals I exit. I exit there. Now, yeah, that's correct. Let's run it and see how that's going to work. Exit. Nope, I don't want to exit. Let's enter some garbage in there. Reset, exit, yes. So those two buttons are working now, apart from this very button here, this one. Okay, that's the main button. Okay, let's come down here. So we now need to create a function for that as well. So I'm going to define my function right up here. So say function login underscore system parenthesis, and I will say user equals self dot username dot get. There. Then I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other one, and that's going to be password equals self dot password dot get. There we go. Now I will then use an if statement to determine the input. So let's come right down here and we say if user equals string, and I'm just gonna make up some value in there. Let's say creative. There, close that, and password equals string, and it is going to be 1 2 3 4 5 6. There, close that column there. What I want the system to do is to be able to open up the tab. So what I'm going to do first is let's come in here and empty out this. Yeah, I'm going to just copy this. Yeah, and set focus as well. Come in here, paste this in here. Okay, that's if you get it right, if you get the login details right. Else, this was going to happen if you did not get that right. Let's put a space in there. Else, I may have to, let's enter this as well. I want it to clear everything, and a message box displayed. The message box should be tick enter dot message box and that very message box is going to be what? Let's indent first. The message will be dot ask yes or no, this very one, I think, yeah, there. And in the title is login system. That's the first argument in there. The second argument is going to be, let's say, too bad, invalid, login details. There we go. There. Okay, this should be equals, and these ones need to be indented, right? Okay, so I'm going to run it. Let's first of all, let's add this to my login details. Come right down here, the button here, I mean, and let's just enter command equals that. So let's run it and see how that's going to look like. So run, yeah. Okay, we need a comma here. Yeah, there we go. Now run it again. Enter whatever in there. Nope, too bad, invalid login details. Now let's enter the correct login details, and this is meant to be 1 2 3 4 5 6. There, we got it right. So for now, guys, I'm going to call it the end of the first part of this tutorial, and I'll see you guys shortly.